for the people who don't know you, really or anything like that, what are you really doing besides stats and stuff? Like, what are you doing nowadays? What are you doing currently?
Life after baseball kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I pretty much took up sailing as a hobby and kind of a lifestyle. And so during like the spring and summer months, my girlfriend and I we fly out to the Mediterranean where my boat is currently. And then we'll spend like 5 months out there just bobbing around the Mediterranean, going through Italy, Croatia. Last year we did Greece, Turkey, a little bit of Italy last year. And so that's something we look forward to a lot during the summertime. And then during the wintertime, I live in Florida, so the weather is beautiful like it is right now. And I was just doing yard work today and yesterday, and I was just thinking about how awesome it is that I'm just not dripping in sweat right now. So during
Yeah,
the
because
winter,
the humidity is usually pretty crazy down there, isn't
oh my God, it's a killer. It's a killer. August and July, oof. Yep.
it?
Playing baseball in those months is brutal.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so anyway, so during the winter time, I'm here in Florida, and then also skiing, snowboarding, doing all the winter fun activities.
So you're kind of an extreme sports kind of guy, huh? You like that kind of stuff?
I mean, skydiving and doing like base jumping and stuff, I'm not big on that, but I do love snowboarding. I grew up snowboarding. My brother snowboards and then my girlfriend snowboards, so it's definitely a passion of mine, something I spend a lot of time on.
Yeah, I did it one time, and to be honest, I loved it. Snowboarding was super fun. Definitely
Yeah.
challenging. It's not like skateboarding, that's for sure.
No, it's not something you can pick up in one day,
Yeah, no, it's difficult, but it's fun once you get used to it.
for sure.
So now that we kind of got through, a little bit of what you're doing now, I
Yeah.
want to kind of get into, when did baseball switch for you from like this is fun to I could actually, make a living out of this?
Yeah, that probably happened once I made it into the big leagues and actually got a paycheck, like a
Oh
paycheck that I could
wow.
really do something with, you know? Yeah, I mean I went, let's see, I walked on a junior college coming out of high school. Um, I just showed up one day at a junior college in San Diego and said, do you guys have tryouts or what's going on? And they just said come out tomorrow, whatever. So that's how college happened for me. And then after those 2 years, I ended up being a good player and everything in college. And I thought I could use baseball to kind of pay for my next 2 years of school. So that's kind of where like the money kind of came into play for me personally. I didn't really even think about being a professional baseball player until I was approached by a scout, who actually I'm going to go have dinner with today. That's where I'm going at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
The scout, yeah, his name is Craig Wiseman, and he was the guy with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time, who signed me. And he was the first scout that came up to me and just asked me if I ever thought about playing professional baseball. But the money thing really hit home once I cracked into the big leagues. I mean, I was still young and my eyes were still wide and everything, and couldn't really believe everything was happening. But once I kind of got stable up there and those paychecks started coming in, I was like, okay, this is great. I mean, this is what all like the work in the trenches was for, you know?
Right. Now,
Yeah.
I was going to ask that real quick. Like, so growing up playing baseball, like you never thought about, like you never had aspirations of being a Major League Baseball player. You just played it for fun, huh?
Not really. I just played it for fun. Yeah, like the whole
That's awesome, though.
yeah, the idea of I mean, I get it like you think like I should have like that childhood story where I always imagine like bottom of the ninth in the game 7 of World Series kind of thing growing up playing wiffle ball. But I never really had it. But I did play baseball a lot, and I, played in the summer teams, played high school and everything. I took it serious. I worked hard at it, and then even when I got to when I got to college and junior college, I really started taking it serious. I really started taking like my fitness serious. Building up arm strength, building bat speed, all that stuff really started coming together in junior college.
Now, you touched on something I really didn't even have written down here, but I want to question about it. So, Did you feel like in junior college you took it more seriously because they kind of took a chance on you? Did you see it that way? Is that kind of how you viewed like your hard work?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe because they did take
Because you
a
had
chance
nothing to
on me.
lose.
I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to let myself down. I think, and also I was kind of coming from the sticks a little bit up in Northern California out of high school, and competitive the competitive level up there is not really what you would find in San Diego or Southern California or anything like that. And so I think I probably did step it up a little bit more mentally and just the way I prepared myself because I never thought I was better than anybody else on the field. I actually thought I was worse than people on the field. And so I don't know, I wouldn't call it low self-esteem or anything like that, but it just kept me working hard, you know.
It motivated you.
It motivated me. Like in San Diego, there's just somebody else that could replace you very easily as a college player. You know, there's plenty of them down there. So it was definitely a motivator and reason to work hard. And I think that's kind of where all of that kind of started to instill in me.
Awesome. Now, quick question. Were you always a catcher?
Not always a catcher. I mean, coming out of high school, I played third base. I pitched. When I walked on at junior college, I told them, I think that's what I told them. I think I told them I play third base, I pitch and I catch. And they already had their infield set. So I think the next day I came and I threw a side like a bullpen, and then I went to hit BP, and they're like, "Oh, you hit left-handed." I was like, "Yeah, I hit left-handed." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, we didn't know that." And then
That's
and
always a
so like,
plus in baseball.
yeah. So then they're just like, "Oh, let's see how your catching skills are." I don't know if my pitching skills were, or maybe they weren't that good, but so then I think the left-handed hitting uh kind of brought me into playing catcher over pitching, and that's just kind of where I stuck.
So how fast did you ever throw? What was the fastest you ever threw? Do you know?
I think I got clocked on a throw down to second base. We were doing some catching drills, and I think it was, I don't know, probably spring training or something like that, and they had a gun out there. And I think I threw the ball like 93 down to second base or something like that.
Holy cow. I tell people all the time, man, just because they don't pitch doesn't mean they can't throw hard.
Yeah, no, no, no.
It's
Yeah.
different. It's different when you play catcher all the time. When you pop and
You got
throw,
to
it's
get that
just
ball on the line down to second base. I mean, I was by no means the best at throwing base runners out, but you had to really give it something to get it down there, you know?
heck yeah. That's awesome. Now, on a normal start, what was like your mental checklist as a catcher, like before a game, like first inning, third inning? What's running through your head just on a normal start, like just any given day?
As a catcher, defensively,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, I mean, so you do a little bit of preparation with the pitching coach and then the starting pitcher. You sit down with them before the game and just go over the lineup and see who's. I kind of more focus on who's hot and who's not. I
Okay.
depending on the player. I mean, you got some like Miguel Cabrera, some Mike Trouts there that you never really want to mess around with, but you got other hitters there that might be some big name hitters who might just be on a slump. So you might
Hmm.
actually want to pitch to that guy instead of pitching to the guy you wouldn't normally pitch to, or you know what I mean. So you just kind of go over like who's hot and who's not in the lineup, um, and then who's struggling with certain pitches. But then when it comes to whoever's on the mound, whatever starting pitcher you have, you got to make sure that their stuff kind of lines up with what you're seeing there on paper.
Right.
Like if this guy's struggling with the changeup, well, if your pitcher doesn't really have a changeup, or if his changeup is his fourth best pitch, you might still not want to challenge him with it. Depending. So there's a lot of gray area there, but you just kind of get like a good enough game plan, going into the game. And then after all that's done, it's pretty much warming up the pitcher. You go out there before the game, game's going to start in like 15 minutes. So then you start playing your side toss with the pitcher, and then you bring him into the bullpen. And then in the bullpen, you're kind of understanding what kind of control your pitcher you have there on the mound is working with, and also their pitches. If the pitcher has four pitches, which ones do they have the best control with that night? Because it changes from start to start.
Hmm.
And then just what looks like dominant pitches coming out of their hands, just kind of what the guy has. Um, but you're also very fluid with all of that as well as a catcher and calling pitches, because I mean one moment really stands out to me. Like I can't think of all the times I put on the gear and strapped up for a big league game, but some do stick out in my mind, and one of them was Kevin Millwood. I caught him in Colorado, in Denver, at the Rocky Stadium.
Okay.
And I was warming him up down in the bullpen, and this guy, he couldn't find the strike zone to save his life, man. I mean, he was tearing my arm out over here, and it was like everything, just nothing was working, and he couldn't control anything. And he did that for like 12 pitches. I remember throwing the ball back to him, just going on my knees, throwing the ball back to him in the bullpen. He caught the ball, and then he just looked at me for like 2 seconds, and then just kind of gave the glove thing like, "Let's go," and just said, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just go into the game." And it was unbelievable. Kevin Millwood went in there, and he probably threw like 90 pitches through like 8 1/3 innings with one hit, and
Oh
he was
wow.
dicing
In
up these Colorado
Colorado.
in Colorado. Like they couldn't touch him. They're rolling everything over or popping it up. It was just absolutely incredible. And
Now, who was on that Colorado team too? Because they probably had a pretty good team back then, didn't they?
oh yeah, they had some good hitters for
Like
sure.
Galarraga, was Walker still there? Probably, maybe.
No, not Walker. No, this was like Juan Gonzalez, Story.
Todd
Um,
Helton, maybe.
yeah, maybe Todd Helton was there. And then third baseman Arenado.
Oh gosh, yeah. That dude, man, he's
Yes.
awesome.
So they had a really good team. But I remember after 8 innings, I think they got a hit somewhere in the eighth inning. I think Gonzalez like hit just a dribbler grounder up the middle for a base hit. And I go back in the dugout after the eighth inning and kind of slumped down next to him. I'm like, dang, man, we almost had it. And he's like, had what? I was like, the no hitter. Oh man, I already got plenty of those. He didn't even care.
That's funny
Yeah,
though, because that's
but
like a story I usually hear from like a relief pitcher. You know, a lot
yeah,
of relief pitchers, like I've heard some guys slam a Red Bull and go in a game, don't even throw warm-up pitches. I mean,
sure.
it's
Yes.
crazy. That's
Uh-huh.
funny. Let me see here. Since you already brought up that no-hitter, let's go into the perfect game. Like going into that start, did anything feel different that day, or was it just like any other normal start?
Well, Felix had a f he was having like a good month or month and a half. I remember like his last 5 or 6 starts before that where he was just lights out. I mean, he had nasty stuff. Um before that before that perfect game, he had a start in Yankee Stadium, I believe. I think he threw a complete game, and he threw like a two-hit complete game in Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees lineup couldn't touch him, like couldn't get anywhere close to him. And anyway, so he has some good stuff. And then I remember warming up there in Safeco and before the perfect game. And he had really good stuff. I mean, his ball was moving, his curveball was snapping off everything. And I remember walking back to the dugout, after you're done warming up, head back to the dugout before you go out on the field. And I remember looking at Carl, their pitching coach at the time, and he's like, "Man, this stuff's good, huh, Jason?" I was like, "Holy cow, this is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for these hitters." And I just remember him just having command of everything. Everything was, I mean, he had control of his curveball, his changeup, everything. So when it came down to the game and calling pitches, it wasn't the hardest thing to call pitches during this perfect game because he just had nasty. Anything you threw down there was a good choice.
So you had confidence in anything you called that
Like
that
pretty
day.
much anything, man. Yeah, when you start getting through
That's
especially,
interesting.
especially the first couple times through the lineup because the hitters hadn't seen anything yet, but you start getting in that third time through the lineup, and the hitters have pretty much seen every pitch. You know, every hitter's pretty much seen every pitch that he's got. He started getting a little bit worried, but man, he was still just dicing them up.
Well, you kind of answered it actually a little bit. I'm curious to see what your actual answer is on this one. So how
Yeah.
early did you think, okay, this is going to be a special day, and when did that thought hit, and did you have to check yourself mentally so you didn't start getting pressured?
Yeah. I mean, I was checking myself constantly throughout the game. The first time through the lineup when the hitters were swinging and missing at these balls, um, I mean, it was like they were swinging, missing by this, really good big league hitters. And so I knew it was something special that day. I mean, I wasn't thinking perfect game or anything like that. I mean, that those thoughts didn't come into my head until like the sixth inning. Sorry about these sirens. I don't know if you can hear them, but
No, you're fine.
okay. All right, good.
I like the naturalness of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a beautiful day out here.
Right?
Everything's okay. Um, but anyway, yeah, like it started getting I really realized he had something special going through that game when he got through the first lineup, first time through the lineup, and he just mowed them all down. I think there was one ball hit hard. I think it was a leadoff hitter actually hit a
Hmm.
ball, one of the hardest balls hit that game, and our outfielder kind of made a running catch into the gap, like around the warning track, maybe like right in front of the warning track. Um, but other than that, it was just wiped the whole little lineup, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be easy.
I would say, so was that hit like once that was caught, were you kind of like, oh, okay, we got something going on here?
Well, no, that I mean that was I think that was the first hitter of the game. Uh,
Oh, okay. I thought
yeah,
you meant
so
like
I
lead
think
off of an inning.
yeah, I think there was a few. There might have been. I think Longoria hit kind of a
Mm.
soft liner to the second baseman that was caught, and then I remember our shortstop making a awesome like backhanded play on a grounder and then coming over and throwing over his shoulder, to first base, and that was a huge play too. Um, but yeah, man, when the game kept going on and we started going through the second round through the lineup and then getting towards like the sixth inning or so, yeah, the butterflies started happening and start getting a little nervous.
So now, did you go talk to him on the mound at all during that game? How were the mound conversations between him during that game?
So no, I don't think I went out to the mound one time. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I think during a perfect game like that, nobody once the game starts rolling and people start thinking in their head like, this is like perfect
He's
game
the
situation.
loneliest guy in the
He's
dugout.
alone and nobody's talking to him. But it was great because just the kind of guy that Felix is, he's a dude that is very vocal and very involved with the players around him. So he was still doing all that stuff on his own, like coming over to people and saying, "Hey, nice play on that one," and all that stuff. Um, us getting hits or whatever, he was coming over and saying, like, congrats, whatever, good job on the hit or something like that. Um, so, that's just the kind of guy Felix is. And he was doing that the whole time. I mean, he might have been getting nervous too, but you couldn't tell. You really couldn't tell. But no, I didn't do no mound visits. One thing that was awesome during the game was, uh, he shook me off a few times there in like the first to second inning. And, but after that, he didn't shake me off at all the rest of the game. Whatever I put down, he was just already stepping back and going. He was already starting his wind up. It didn't matter. I put down something, he wouldn't shake me off, and he just kept it with it. And I think that kind of maybe helped with his rhythm a little bit and keeping the Rays lineup basically on their heels. So yeah.
Now, I never did any big league pitching, obviously. I did some pitching in a small college, but did you guys have a good relationship as pitcher catcher? I mean, not like you guys would have had a bad relationship, but like I'm
Yeah.
sure there's probably pitchers you liked working with more than others, maybe. I know I liked working with different catchers. Was Felix one of
Yeah.
those guys that you really liked working with?
Yeah, if you get I love working with Felix. Yeah. I mean, you get to some situations, like for instance, last hitter of the game, Sean Rodriguez. He I think it was a 2-0 count. I think we went down 2-0 against Sean. And so both pitches were way out of the strike zone. So you would think that, obviously just like fastball somewhere down the middle, just get it, throw a strike, we don't just
Right.
don't want to go three. Well, I called a slider and I called a slider down the middle. And so, Felix didn't hesitate to throw that pitch. Sometimes a pitcher was like second guess that and be like, no, 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 this should be a fastball.
Right.
Felix did not second guess it. He just went right back, started threw his slider right down the middle, swing and a miss, you know. Um, so he had that confidence in what I was calling. So that pitcher catcher relationship, is important because I think like the less that some of these pitchers have to think up on the mound, the better. They can just worry about
Mm-hmm.
executing their pitches. So when you build that trust and the pitcher feels like, okay, this guy's got me, he knows what he's doing. I trust him. It's important, And so with Felix, we had a good relationship, and we were I think I was catching him pretty much every start there for a good chunk of the season because I was a left-handed hitter, catcher, so I would mainly play against right-handed pitching, and then we had another right-handed hitting catcher, Miguel Montero,
Mm.
and he would play against left-handed pitching. So
Miguel was pretty
Felix was
big with the
pitching,
Cubs.
if Felix was pitching against if Felix was pitching against a left-handed pitcher, I would still catch because I think we had this great working relationship going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of trust, a lot of confidence with each other, and he wanted me in there. So
That's pretty awesome. Now,
yeah,
did you ever have that feeling of, oh man, I don't want to mess this up? Like I don't want to be the one that gets blamed for messing
during
this
that
up,
game.
like in the late innings.
Oh man, I'd be lying if I didn't say otherwise. Yeah, I think anybody would be lying on that field. I'm sure everybody was nervous, like especially fielding ground balls. Like if there was just a bad hop, like something. Yeah, yeah, I definitely had the butterflies there. I would say the sixth, seventh, and eighth inning. Um, I had the butterflies. I felt myself going out like if you get antsy as a catcher, you kind of go out and start stabbing at balls to catch them, from the
Okay.
pitcher. And that's just your heart rate going. And I felt myself do that a few times. And I had to tell myself, like, calm down, like just let everything come to you. You kind of start to try and slow the game down by letting the ball come to you instead of going out and getting it. That kind of speeds it up.
Right.
Uh, so I had to catch myself a few times because yeah, my nerves were going, my heart rate was going. But I tell you what, man, like the ninth inning rolled around and I mean, we won 1-0. That was it. The ninth inning rolled around and something in my head kind of clicked. And it was just like, just get Felix the win. Like, just worry about that. Like the perfect game stuff,
Hmm.
throw it out of your head. The important thing right here is to walk out with a win. So, um, the ninth inning, it was crazy because I was calm and relaxed.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're
That's
thinking
funny. I
about,
was about to ask you that because you said sixth, seventh, and eighth, and I was like, well, wouldn't the ninth be
yeah, it was
nervous?
really,
And
yeah. I don't know, just something I told myself and my brain just kind of clicked and my nerves just kind of went away. And, because you don't want to let strike three go between your legs on a ball in the dirt or something like that. So when you strike, run into the backstop and the guy's on first. I don't know, just anything like that could happen. So,
yeah,
um,
like still get the no hitter but lose the perfect game. Like I mean,
yeah, yeah,
a no
yeah.
hitter is good, but a perfect game is like,
Oh, perfect game is a perfect
that's like
game,
hitting
man.
60 home runs in a year back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, ninth inning came around, whatever happened, something clicked, and I just felt like a cucumber out there, it was just, and man, what a moment though, that ninth
Now,
inning.
this is the big question of all questions with the perfect game.
Yeah,
What was the very last out pitch ever, what was that like to you?
right. That was a Sean Rodriguez at bat. He went down 2-0, uh, slider, and it was a swinging strike. And then I forget if we threw another slider or something, or if we got to 3-0 or 3-2 or what. Um, but he ended up with two strikes on him, and I just went with Felix's bread and butter. I just knew if any pitch needed from Felix needed to end this game, this was the pitch, and it was his changeup. That's
Oh,
Felix.
nice.
Yeah, his changeup is dirty, and that's the pitch that nobody wants to have to hit. And so I called changeup. I just kind of sat right down the middle, kind of like thigh high to start at thigh high and let it die, you know?
Hmm.
And yeah, man, he threw it and that thing just danced out of his hand like that real quick and just locked up Sean and strike three, man. It was just like right there, knee high, stuck it. Yeah.
So, like, if you had to compare like winning like a big game to that, what's the
Yeah.
excitement difference between like a big game and
Excitement
something
level.
like that? Yeah.
It's pretty much on par. I mean, I would say it's like, I mean, I haven't won a World Series, but winning like a division or something like that, you know, um, the excitement is there, man. Like, man, we were going crazy. I couldn't believe what just happened, you know, and that's the same thing like winning a series or something. You cannot believe that game just happened. Um, and yeah, our whole team was pumped. I mean, we didn't have a winning record. I mean, I think we probably had the worst record in baseball that year, you know, but that win there just seemed like we just won the World Series.
Felix
Um,
was a stud though back then. I mean, man,
he was a
I would
stud.
never wanted to face him if I was a hitter in the majors.
No, I had to face him as a hitter, and I'm glad I got to catch him for
And
one.
he knew you, so
Yeah, I'm glad I got to catch him for one year and take a break from having to hit off him. Yeah. And I mean it was just amazing like what that guy represents for the city and everything, you know, to happen there in Safeco. Um, it was just an incredible moment for him and Seattle.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So let me ask you this real quick. This is kind of off the topic of everything like that. Now you played in Pittsburgh for a while,
Hmm.
and I always like to ask any major leaguers I talk to, what was your favorite stadium to play in? Because I personally
Yeah.
love PNC. I think it's a great ballpark. And I'm just curious, what was your favorite ballpark to play in?
I love PNC also. I like the facilities there too. Like our clubhouse is great and field is awesome. Yeah, you got the skyline, the Pittsburgh skyline
Hmm.
out, especially once you kind of start hitting the summertime or the springtime when the ivy starts turning green and everything. Yeah, PNC is a beautiful park. I love it. And I like the city of Pittsburgh too. And then also, you know what? To Sorry to say it, but also Safeco. I mean, Safeco is a beautiful stadium as well. And
I've
then
heard that from a lot of people.
yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful stadium. And you know, the day games there are great, the fans are great, the city's great. To see on that day on Felix's perfect game, to see it was I think it was, you know, a day game during the week, so there wasn't really anybody there.
Mm.
Um, but he's got like his crazy King's Court down the left field line, you know, with their signs and their yellow shirts and everything. And but that what I was gonna say is that day it was a weekday day game, so there wasn't that many people there, but as the game progressed, the stadium was full, packed full of people.
People
By
started
near,
buying tickets and coming to see after
I
a couple
think
innings,
so,
huh?
man. Yeah, I think so. Like I think this thing started happening and people were watching on TV and they all started like calling out of work or whatever and I mean that game, I mean it was a quick game, 1-0 and it was a perfect game. So it probably couldn't have lasted more than 2 hours, you know? So it probably ended around 3:30. So people must have been calling out of work to get there.
I mean, I tell people all the time. I mean, yes, I agree with you. Watching baseball on TV may be boring. I get it, but I
Yeah.
love baseball and it's not boring to me because I
Yeah.
see all the nuances and things like that. So like
Yeah.
I notice things like when the crowd starts moving down, or like people are just in the
Uh-huh.
higher seats and they start moving down because like, well, there's no one down here. Let's get closer to the action. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
that guy at a ballpark before.
Right. Yeah. If you start understanding the nuances, like, you know, you start looking down the bullpen and you see some pitchers getting ready, you know, some bullpen pitchers getting ready, and you start kind of trying to see what the manager is thinking along with the lineup and everything. You can start enjoying watching baseball.
Well, and you probably have the same problem I have because I pitched for a long time when I was a kid and I studied pitching forever. So
Uh-huh.
when you watch games, do you always have that problem of you just sit there and you're like, oh, this should be a curveball. This should be a slider. Like you sit
Yes.
there and try to predict the pitches. I do that all the
Yeah, I
time.
do. I can't help it. It's just habit. I mean, I mostly, yeah,
Exactly.
if I'm like happen to be watching a game on TV and I can see where the strikes are or where the pitches are, specifically, then yes, I really do start critiquing it. And then I see the next pitch, I'm like, oh, why would he call that? You know? But I mean, you could line up 10 uh big league catchers and they might all have something different to call. You know, it's like, yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Now
baseball.
you did touch on something with Felix, and I like to bring this up because I say it all the time to kids and everything that are like, "Oh, I need to throw a curveball. Oh, I need to throw a slider." Do you
Sure.
agree with this statement? The changeup is actually probably the hardest pitch to hit in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, man, for sure.
See,
I
I tell
think
my
so.
kids all the time, I'm like, learn it, learn a changeup. I was like, if you
Learn to
can throw a
change it.
pitch 10 miles an hour slower, but it looks like a fastball,
Yeah.
I mean, think about how hard
Yes.
that is in
Yeah,
your
because
mind.
a curveball, you're picking up that spin, and there's been plenty of closers out there, very, very successful closers, where all they have are a fastball and a changeup. That's
Trevor
it.
Hoffman.
Yeah, yeah, Trevor Hoffman. Who is the guy that he pitched with Texas for a while? Dominican guy, he had the sideways hat and
Oh,
everything.
I
Fernando
know who you're talking
Rodney.
about. Who?
Fernando Rodney.
Yes, yes.
Fernando Rodney, yeah. Him. Fastball changeup. I mean, granted, you gotta have a good fastball, but
Right. You got to have a good fastball.
yeah, but
But
I
some of these
could,
guys nowadays, their changeup's like 15, almost 20 miles an hour slower than their fastball.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
going from 100 down to 75. I mean,
yeah, yeah. You could get through a game easier as a catcher calling pitches with a pitcher that only had fastball changeup more so than a pitcher that has fastball curveball.
yeah, because I mean, and then it also depends on, well, what does the pitcher think is his best pitch, you know?
Well, there's always that too. Yeah. But, generically, I mean, fastball changeup, start there and then you can build other pitches around it for sure.
Now, who was your favorite pitcher to catch? Was it Felix, or is there somebody else that you really enjoyed catching with?
Yeah, I think Felix is probably my favorite pitcher to catch. His stuff was just nasty. I mean, and I mean, I only had him that 1 year. I think he ended the season with a pretty good ERA. So it was just a fun time catching him, for
Yeah, I
sure.
think that was that the year he didn't win the Cy Young because they were like, "Oh, yeah, you guys had a losing record," or something like that. Because there was
Maybe
one year
I
I
don't.
think he was. There was
There
one year
was
I thought
one
he
year.
should
I
have
don't
won
think
it.
that was the year I was there. Because
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you're right. There was one year where he just missed out on the Cy Young, and he maybe should have got it.
Oh yeah, I mean he won like almost half the team's games that year. It seemed like.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is always a fun question too to ask you guys. Who was your Well, it's funny how I worded it to Ben Zobrist. He laughed. I said, "Who was the easiest pitcher for you to hit off?" And he told me there's no easy pitcher in the majors. And who was the toughest pitcher for you to hit off of?
Yeah, no at bat is easy in the big leagues. That's for sure. It's funny because I had a few rehab stints down in the minor leagues, and you go down there and you play some AAA games, and it's like, oh my God, this is how easy it was down here hitting this pitching. It's so much harder up there.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, but there weren't really any easy pitchers. There was just a few that I did have success off of. One I remember like Syndergaard. Like I could hit Syndergaard for some reason. And
really?
I
He's
think that's
really
because
tough.
oh yeah, I know. But I think the reason I felt comfortable against him is because most of his stuff was hard. He just
Mm,
threw that fastball, a slider, and it was hard, and you could just get that timing down. And 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 so he didn't really have that good changeup, I don't think. At least he didn't really throw it to me.
right.
So I hit well off him, and like I think Uvalde too. Like he threw really hard. Like all his stuff was just gas, really hard as fastball slider. So I think I hit him pretty well too. I feel like there was another one, but as far as the tough pitchers to hit, um, Arrieta was really, really tough there for a while.
Really?
For like for like 3 or 4 years. Yeah, Jake Arrieta, I mean, nobody could hit him. And then another pitcher was Wade Davis. Wade Davis. He
Mm,
was he was unhittable there for a while. When he moved to the bullpen, I think he was the eighth inning guy, I think, for the Cubs, right?
hmm
Um, I that was just a very uncomfortable at bat as well. Yeah.
You never had to face Chapman though, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I faced Chapman one time. I think it was in Yankee Stadium. And he came in. I don't know why I would have still been hitting against him. It couldn't have been that close of a game. But anyway, I remember fouling strike two straight back. And I was like, oh my God, I am right on this fastball. I mean, 100 miles an hour. I was right on it. And I thought I'm just gonna smoke this next one. If he tries throwing a fastball right now, I'm gonna smoke it. Well, he threw me a curveball and almost pooped my pants in the batter's box because he threw me like three fastballs and threw me a curveball and it started at my face and ended up right down the middle and just completely buckled me. So that's my Chapman story. And yeah,
So was he
yeah.
the toughest you faced?
No, no, I felt comfortable after I saw his fastballs. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna catch up to this. I'm gonna hit this if he tries throwing it again. So no, I never felt uncomfortable, but one guy I could never really get comfortable with also is Bartolo Colon.
Oh yeah, he was nasty.
He was nasty and he can control left hand. He was a right-handed pitcher that really could dice up left-handed hitters. And he had that good movement on his two-seam fastball, and he could slow it down. He could throw it hard, and it
Hmm,
would have a nice little tight movement on it, late tight movement that might make you hit the ball off the end of your bat or something like that,
right.
or something, or just enough miss hit it to roll it over. Or he could slow down his fastball and throw it maybe like 85 and it'll start at you and it'll be this big movement over to the inside part of the plate. So it'll start at you as a left-handed hitter and then move all the way to the inside third of the plate, completely buckle you and make you look stupid because you watched an 85-mile-an-hour fastball cross the plate for strike three. So you're walking back to the plate being like, I just look like I've never hit before in my life up there, like what?
So when he threw it slower, it broke more. That's weird. I always thought
Yeah,
maybe
his
if you threw it
two-seam
faster, it
fastball.
would cut more.
His two
Hmm.
seam fastball. So yeah, he'd kind of like slow it down a little bit so you get more of like a bigger movement out of it. Um, Whereas when he threw it hard, it was late, tight movement, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird though. I've never heard that. I'm gonna have to look that up and see because like I'd be interested how he did that. Like,
Yeah,
did he kind of try to throw it like a change up, or
it's
did he
almost like
just
a
kind of have a more
curveball.
of a pull down motion?
It's almost with the two-seamer that he throws.
Yeah. Is it more
Yeah,
like a change up where you kind of pull down instead of follow
you
through?
could probably look at a highlight reel of Cologne doing it, or like Maddox. Like there's highlight reels of Maddox.
Mm.
Like watch his two-seamer and how much it moves. And he was Maddox was good at it. He would throw the ball at left-handed hitters, like right at him, and then it would come over like a little frisbee action or something like that, and or like a wiffle ball, and just nick the inside corner of the plate. So him again, like he just threw an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, and you got these big left-handed hitters trying to get out of the way of the pitch. It is nicking the inside of the plate. He was really good at it. And the same thing with like a curveball. Like you think about Barry Zito curveball, a big loopy
Hmm.
ball. He's throwing it nice and slow, so you get this kind of loop, but it's a big, big movement. Whereas you get somebody throwing a hard curveball, like when Wade Davis's curveball was on, he would throw hard and it would come in at like it'd come in at like 88, almost 90,
Oh
and it
wow.
would dive like right at the end. I mean, it might not have been too much of a movement, but it was late. It was late movement. And
So it was more like a slider, but it had a downward instead of
yeah,
a
but it had a
sliding
downward.
motion. Because
Yeah,
I mean, a
sure.
slider is pretty quick, but it slides. But
Slider kind of velocity, but he could throw his curveball so hard that it
huh.
would just have late movement and, not much, but you can hit it. You can't hit it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I could imagine something coming in that fast with that kind of
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I tell people all the time. I was like, major league hitters, if it's straight and fast, they're going to hit it. But if it
Yeah.
has any kind of movement, that's what makes it difficult because
That makes it
sometimes the
difficult.
pitchers don't even know where it's going.
Right. Right.
That's awesome. Well, let's go on to I mean, that was a great conversation. I mean, honestly, I've never heard that much conversation out of a catcher. It's really awesome because I tell people all the time, you guys were the quarterbacks on the field. I mean, you're the only player that sees the whole field every play. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I have tons of respect for catchers and to hear that
And we
perspective
get blamed
is
for
really awesome.
anything bad that happens on the field.
Yeah.
You know,
It was the
outfielder
catcher's fault
could
I didn't hit the cutoff man.
outfielder could trip on his shoelaces running after a ball, and somehow we forgot to tie it for him. I don't know.
That is true. Catchers do catch a lot of crap too.
Yep.
Um, so let me see here. Do you have any good advice for say like if you were taking like a 13 or talking to like a 13 or 15-year old, like what would you say to a catcher at that age? Like what kind of good advice would you give to them?
I would say with any player, young player, is be coachable. I think that's really, really, really important. And because I mean it was just going up through the minor leagues and everything. were just guys that weren't coachable, and
Mm,
they didn't make it. I mean, I didn't have I never had an ego, thankfully. You know, I feel like I was really raised well, and I'm very grateful for my parents for that. And I never really carried around an ego with me anywhere. And so I was always very coachable. Like I said, I never thought I was the best player out on the field ever. Like throughout my childhood, through my high school playing, junior college, I never ever thought that. And I never ever really thought, even in the minor leagues, that I was ever going to be in the big leagues. I just played and worked hard. That was it. I never thought about the next step. Um, and uh, and so it happened for me. So I think being coachable is important. Um, I think uh I think having pride in things, like having pride in, if you're a kid and you're in school, having pride in school is important. I remember actually this guy, the scout that I'm going to go have dinner with right now. He was looking at drafting me, and he was also looking at drafting this other guy that was a right-handed pitcher, and this guy threw hard. I mean, a right-handed pitcher, he probably threw like 97 coming out of junior college, and only our scout knew about him. Um, no other scout really knew about this guy. But anyway, the pitcher, he didn't make grades to play.
mm,
And I think he was still on the team, but he couldn't really play in games or something like that. And he never signed. He never got drafted. And I asked my scout, like, why didn't you draft that guy? At least like in late rounds. I mean, why not like 50th round, whatever.
right.
It's like, no, I mean, if he didn't care enough to make grades to play baseball, what makes me think he cares enough to get to grind it out, you know? And so I never really thought about that. It meant something to that scout. Um, there's no reason why a pitcher that's throwing 97 should have been passed up, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Not
But
back then, because the 97 was top end back then.
yeah, sure. But he got passed up for just because of that. Like this scout
Wow.
wasn't willing to hang his name on that player, you know, and just because of that.
Hmm.
So and and so along with getting signed by this guy, I think he told me that my scout told me, he's like, Johnny, what made me sign you? I said, I don't know. I thought just like because I'm a left-handed hitting catcher, like why not? He's like, no. I this one time I went up to I made the drive from San Diego up to LA. I think it was Long Beach High School, or Long Beach City College, or whatever it was. The place where Tony Gwynn actually went to school. And it was just kind of like one of those workouts there. They got scouts and they bring some like prospect guys around and they hit some BP, hit some grounders from
Like a
people,
showcase.
kind of like a showcase, whatever. It was just
Okay.
kind of a throw together showcase. Well, anyway, I drove all the way up from San Diego up there. It was probably like a 2 hour drive, something like that. And we all do our thing. We all hit. We play like a sim game or something like that, and we do our thing. Anyway, at the end of the day, everybody's packing up to leave, and and this big prospect guy shows up. He shows up late. And it's this guy that all these like whatever, there might have been a handful of scouts there, 5 or 6 scouts. They're all kind of waiting to see this guy. And so he shows up late while everybody's leaving. And I just like didn't really think anything of it. I was like, I don't have anything else to do on a Sunday. I just went out in the outfield and they threw him BP, and I was just the only guy out there shagging these balls while he hit BP.
Right.
Everybody else left. And so he hit his like 5 rounds of BP, and I was just kind of running all over the outfield, just shagging these balls, kind of throwing them into the center field to kind of get them in a circle, whatever. Anyway, when all that was done, I just said like bye and picked up all the balls, said bye, and I drove back down to San Diego. And and Craig, the scout, he said that day is the reason I signed you, because you stayed at that.
Put in the work.
Nobody asked, but he's like, this is somebody that will work hard, and that I can put my name on, because as a scout, you're kind of taking a chance with
Mm-hmm.
it, you know.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna
you make a couple bad calls and you might not be a scout for
correct,
very long.
right, correct. And so he said that day he knew. So
That's
anyway,
awesome, man.
yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I know you said you got another thing to go to, so I don't want to keep any longer, but Like I said, this has been awesome. I really appreciate all your time. I only have one question for you
Okay.
right now. I'm kind of going through a midlife crisis, and maybe you can help me out. I'm
Oh
growing
no.
my hair out. So
Yeah.
I was wondering if you have any tips on growing the hair
Oh,
out.
let's see how long my hair is now. Yeah, just let it do its thing, man.
That's what my wife said when she's like, "Well, I see why you asked him for an interview because he's got
Don't
long hair."
don't touch it.
Oh, trust me, my wife gives me crap all the time and says I'm a diva about it now. But I'm like, well, if you got good hair, you
Yeah,
might as
you
well
got the
take care of it,
flow. You got to
right?
let it ride. Yep, for sure.
All right, all right, man. Well, I appreciate your time. It was a blast, and I really appreciate it.
A wrap for episode 8 of Awakening 37 with John Jaso. I appreciate you for hanging out and listening all the way through. If you enjoyed the conversation, hit that subscribe button, drop a review, and share it with a friend.